Well, thank you very much, Julie, for that introduction. I see that the lectern has been placed for your height rather than mine. Could I say it's a great pleasure to see so many of you here this evening, including Professor John Andrews, who was indeed my tutor when I produced my dissertation in my final year in Aberystwyth in 1988, a dissertation so momentous that I doubt that he has any memory of it at all. When I was in the sixth form, I received careers advice, and in those days, quite often the careers advice in Wales's schools was provided by a PE teacher who had become too long in the tooth to teach PE. Even though I went to a comprehensive, many of the teachers that I had in the sixth form had been there when the school was a grammar school. And they still thought along the lines of traditional grammar school subjects to study in university. And so it was law, accountancy, medicine, pharmacy, and dentistry that were seen as the 5 subjects to study. I wanted to study economics. I was told that would go nowhere, and so I had to study law, and I became a lawyer. And I look back on those days, and I think how strange it was that the horizons that we were set were so narrow, that if anybody had suggested that we should enter financial or professional services, that wouldn't have been seen as a career option. And one of the reasons for that was because the facilities to develop those skills were not widely available. And that's why it's such a pleasure this evening to open the Centre for Professional and Financial Services, because there will be so many students in South Wales particularly and further afield who will now see financial and professional services as very much a career for them and not something that's seen as unattainable, as I have to confess we did in the mid-80s. We know that financial and professional services are an exceptionally important part of our economy. We know that roughly 124,000 people across Wales are employed in the sector. And it may be a surprise to some that Wales has a sustainable and internationally competitive financial and professional services sectors. Why is it then that global finance brands like Lloyds Banking Group, Legal & General, GMAC, Admiral, Zurich, the list goes on, why do they have head office functions in Wales? Well, the simple answer is that in Wales they have found a pool of highly skilled and professionally qualified people. And of course, it's important to ensure that the infrastructure is in place to support the generation of those skills year after year, which is why, of course, this centre is so important. And this is why, of course, Cardiff is becoming one of the UK's top 10 super connected cities. It's an important city, and we know that it needs to have links to the outside world that are sufficiently good for it to maintain and enhance its status. So promoting collaboration between industry, schools and universities to encourage research will help to ensure that the curriculum and the skills that are taught are well matched to business needs. We know it'll further enhance and improve the attractiveness of Wales. We also want to raise, of course, awareness of career opportunities in the sector for students and for growing businesses. We need to make sure that we have a sufficiently large pool of skilled professionals in Wales, a pool that is both broad and deep. Now, I mentioned earlier that some 124,000 people work in financial and professional services in Wales. Our aim is to grow this to 200,000 by 2021. We're actively targeting international finance houses in London. That's in order to bring them to Wales rather than to blow them up, I have to say. In the City of London to identify opportunities for companies to base high quality and cost-effective support functions in Wales. We're developing the Central Business District here in Cardiff, the UK's first dedicated enterprise zone for financial and professional services. And we know it'll be a key driver in terms of driving our growth plans. And we'll continue to work with Cardiff Council and key partners to make it by 2021. And the University of Glamorgan, of course, has a significant role to play in all this. Glamorgan's pedigree as a university founded by the business community and with a major presence in our capital city makes it a natural partner both for the sector and indeed for the Welsh Government. We know that Glamorgan's law and accounting courses have a strong reputation. They're delivered by professionally qualified accountants and solicitors who've entered academia, of course, after working in business and can bring that expertise with them as they teach students. As a government, we want to support this development by providing advice and financial support to companies that have the potential for growth and are committed to investing in the skills of their people. And I know that ourselves, the university and industry, have worked together to design the new courses. Another example of partnership working, delivering, I believe, for the people of Wales. I'll finish with 3 world-class examples of academia and government working with international finance houses to grow innovative new businesses. Whenever I make a speech and I use the words "I'll finish," you can see people's heads start to rise. At last, coming to an end. Especially when you're the speaker just before people are about to eat. So I'm very much aware of that. Acclimatise, as one example, an internationally renowned company that specialises in climate risk management using the high-performance computer Wales at the University of Glamorgan for new complex financial modelling. OSTC, one of the largest securities trading firms outside of London, working closely with the University of Glamorgan, and the university, of course, has a trading floor that provides many of OSTC's growing team of traders. And, of course, not far from here, I'd have to mention Cardiff Medical School, which has helped Legal & General to develop the biggest medical underwriting facility in Europe. So this is a very significant day in many ways. It's significant for the university, it's significant for the capital city, significant for Wales, but significant in terms of the message it gives, that we are determined to make sure that Wales plays an ever-enhanced role in financial and professional services in the future. And also, of course, it shows the commitment that's being made, particularly by the university, but also by the sector and also by the Welsh Government, to making sure that Cardiff, and indeed the whole of Wales, can put itself in a position in the very near future of being amongst Europe's leading centres of financial and professional services. We must be ambitious. In terms of being ambitious, we know that then we can look to achieve more. Today's an important step in ensuring that Cardiff develops once more as our capital city and develops its range of services that are available to the public, but also it's an important message that's being sent to the rest of Britain, to the rest of Europe, and indeed the rest of the world. A marvellous step today, a great tribute to the university, and I know that there'll be many, many students who will benefit in the years to come, and many, many companies that will benefit from the expertise that will be generated by the university over the years ahead. Thanks very much.